Good evening. This is Penelope Flynn, and I am here this evening with the rest of our Blerdsassins Next Door. Okay, not everybody, but we got Cranston and we've got Otto, and Sonia is at Dragon Con, so she will not be with us this evening, but she will be with us in spirit. So let's get it started as we usually do with the weather. So, Cranston, how is your weather?
Our weather has been fairly pleasant. It didn't rain much at all this week, but it has been slightly cooler. It's been in the upper 80s rather than in the mid 90s. So,
All right. Right. So, how about you, Otto? How's the weather?
Well, it's been some hellish, like a hellish Groundhog Day.
Just hot
So
and more hot.
I'm waiting for the day that on the show I could say something different than I said in the last 10 shows. So it's
We're
hot as
hoping.
hell.
Yeah, we're hoping. All right. With that out of the way, let's get to it. And tonight we're going to be discussing reboots, remakes, and returns. Uh, Basically, I mean, we've been looking around lately and noticed that there's several Hollywood and television features coming up that look a whole lot like things we've seen before. But we're seeing a lot of against reboots, remakes. Um, are some of these things worthy of reboots, remakes, and returns? And the ones that we think are, what do you expect to have from it? What do you expect to see? I mean, the first one that I really noticed that I mean, I had to do a double take, and that was Beetlejuice. So they have Beetlejuice 2, Beetlejuice, and of course the original Beetlejuice. But I was watching the television, I saw an ad. I was kind of, what is that? And the question is, how many years ago was Beetlejuice? What was it in
It's
1990
like 40
something?
years, like 40,
I
30
don't know.
years.
What is it? 19. What I'd
yeah,
written down 1988.
yeah.
1988 is Beetlejuice.
So it's like
So
36 years ago.
yeah. So I'm trying to figure. I mean, and I'm the last person to say that I would not like to see Michael Keaton again, reprising his role. It would have been interesting, but I think maybe 10 years ago would have been about the time, right?
hmm
Mm,
So why
30
do we?
years ago would have been good.
Yeah. So why now, and why Beetlejuice? Any ideas?
Well, I think that Beetlejuice has had a long history that it has never been out of the consciousness so much because after the original movie, there was at least one animated version that was on
Yes.
several years. And then on down the line, we had I guess, the now infamous Beetlejuice musical. Um,
Okay, I did not know about that.
Yeah,
yeah,
you saw it on the Tony's show
The
several years ago.
Beetlejuice musical?
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
I don't remember that. That must have made no impression.
Along
I
with
mean,
the
Well,
like,
SpongeBob
when was
musical.
this? What year was this?
this has been recently. That was a famous one that Lauren Boebert went to,
She had a
and
hand up her
yeah,
date's pant leg.
said yes, said that surprise, surprise, surprise. That's not my popcorn and stuff. So yeah, so it's always been in the public consciousness so now they
Mhm.
just said, well, we've done it again, so let's make another movie. So we got the intellectual property rights and we don't have to develop it and we already own it, so hey, that cuts down on half of the cost right there.
But
And I
again, okay, go on, Otto. Sorry.
and I also think I didn't mean to interrupt, but I also think it's been 36 years. So if you were a kid and you saw it and you liked it, then you're grown up now. You may have kids on your own, and they've seen it, and so it's perfect time for one or two, three generational thing. Then that's the magic formula for that.
Oh, maybe it is because understand there are three generations basically within the film because uh Catherine O'Hara, I think, is back for this film.
Mhm.
After
So you
Catherine
got Catherine
O'Hara is
O'Hara.
back, and of course Michael
So you got the
Keaton and
mom,
hmm
the daughter, and then the daughter's daughter. So you got
yeah,
all the three
yeah, that all
generations,
comes back. That, you know, all of
right?
that comes back, and it may not get you, it may not get you Star Wars or
Right?
one of those major tent films kind of returns, but it'll make you some money.
Yeah, especially since I don't know what is the rating on the new film about a PG-13 or something.
Yeah.
Um, but-
I would
and
think there would be no higher than that.
yeah, because then they can certainly um be pandering to that PG-13 crowd, and people can bring their teens and their kids, and I
And you
think
could
that's
say, yeah, and then you of a certain age, you say, I remember this, and then
right,
I remember this as a kid, and then the other age said, I
right,
remember this when I was going through, you know, graduate school or college or whatever, and then
right.
kids could say, yeah, I remember grandma showing me this when she was babysitting me that time.
That's
So
right. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. And some people this just be their first time,
yep.
coming into skit with no preconceived or some preconceived notions. Yes, a PG-13. Um, I think when is this supposed to open? September 6th. This coming week, we are expected to see.
Which is kind of weird to me because I think Hollywood ever released a film like Beetlejuice that's the
Hmm.
occult or kind of like horror adjacent? Have they ever done it the right way when it comes to Halloween?
Yeah, like on
Or
Halloween.
they or are they forbidden from doing it on Halloween or something?
I don't know. Is there a thing?
No, I think if you at Halloween you're getting into films that are the early part of actually Christmas marketing that they want to beat the Thanksgiving rush and hope they can get in that vacuum part and the at the end of summer.
Right. So I mean, I think something like Beetlejuice, I would
You would
definitely.
think they would open it like October
Yeah,
1st. Yeah,
yeah. Like October
you have
1st
a
when we
whole month. You have a whole month
right a
by the
whole
time
Halloween
Halloween
season.
comes. By the time Halloween comes around, Beetlejuice would be nobody's going to remember that it's out there.
Yeah, but you have to
Or
figure this that all the stores have started putting out all of their Halloween decorations. So
already, and
yeah,
it's like 100 degrees, and I'm watching
yes.
pumpkins and stuff, which is fine with me.
Hmm.
I'm okay. I wish Halloween was like a 2 or 3 month thing. I'm cool with it,
Yeah,
but still,
yeah. It's a lot. It's a lot. So I think maybe I would have preferred having it pushed back a little bit into October. I think it would have been a great October release, such that it's any good. But if it's not any good, the nostalgia I think will hold a lot of people over. They'll
yeah.
be
But
very
in September,
excited.
by by the by the end of September, people are not going to remember this unless it's released on like cable or some other platform or something.
Yeah, but you got to look at it this way too. There are so many people that if it's really good, they may see it more than once, or because it is that season that they may feel in the mood to take people to a date night and stuff like that.
I don't
Family
know.
Or
night. Mm.
or it's the thing where you do it now because you want to get into theaters, and then as it gets closer to the
Yeah,
holiday, they'll start streaming.
right. Yeah, that's
Yeah, I was trying to stream on a platform, but
yeah.
it's like to me. I mean, number one, it seems too late to have a Beetlejuice costume, right? So, you know,
What?
yeah, I think it's too late. I think it's too late to say, hey, who you coming? Who are you supposed to be, little
Well, I
girl or
guess maybe
boy?
that's the
I'm
point. That
Beetlejuice.
they,
I don't
but I
think
think
it's. Yeah,
maybe that's the point to bring it out in September. So by the time you hit October, that it's something that people will buy for a costume. Maybe
I
that's
think
what
it's
they're
too
Mhm.
thinking.
late. I think it's Penelope. I think it's too
Do you
late for
think? I
that.
don't think so. I don't. I don't.
Yeah, I think maybe next year, but not this year. Too late for that.
I don't think so. I think it's pretty good timing.
Nah, I
No,
think it's too late.
as long as you can get overnight delivery on it and stuff, yeah, you can
That's right.
still
But you
pull
got to
it off.
make it. You got to make it. It's almost as like when they Saturday Night Live had that
Hmm.
Thomas. What's that? Pumpkins. What's that guy's
David
name?
Pumpkin. David Pumpkin.
David Pumpkins, right?
Right,
They
right.
already had that like made, and then it sold out like
Yeah, that's
immediately.
true. That's true. They had those. I mean, I don't know how they got them into the stores so quickly.
Cause they knew they were gonna make it, and they had it already done,
Hmm.
and then they probably slave labor or something, and
Yeah. Okay.
they got it out there.
Yeah, they sure did. I mean, it
David
was.
S. Pumpkins. Yep. So I don't know
Hmm.
why Beetlejuice. I think I know why Beetlejuice was made. I don't think it needed to be made.
Hmm.
I think it should have been made. It was going to be made for my purposes, which have been like 30 years ago. But I understand why it was.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but I guess again, I think holiday season, they're putting it out, hoping to capitalize on merchandising. Because I mean, we went to the store the other day, and it was at either Home Depot or Lowe's. Maybe it was Lowe's, and they had remember all those Beetlejuice yard decor things they had out.
Yeah, but a lot of things had nothing to do with Beetlejuice. I think a lot of stuff was just plain
Older,
witches.
just kind of, yeah,
Yeah,
maybe.
yeah. Or it from reminiscent of it from
You
Stephen
know
King.
what? You know what? Now that you say that, I think that what I did was get something confused because I think Wednesday Adams is what that was, but the
Hmm.
same girl is
Yeah,
playing the daughter girl is being played
right.
by, yeah. So
And
it is
then
possible.
but
Got
in the original Beetlejuice, they had so many scary different figures that you never know. But
mm-hmm.
I mean,
But we
you
won't
had the
know until
figures.
it opens, right?
You had the figures in the waiting room, and he was
Hmm.
waiting, and you had
Yes.
all these other and various figures that Alec Baldwin and
Hmm.
Gina Davis had on.
Right, right,
But I don't think I saw that many Beetlejuice things.
right, right, right. Yeah, I think I have to correct myself that, yeah, I think it was Adam's family stuff, but it was that same girl, so I just
Yeah,
Hmm.
kind of
Wednesday.
presumed the same, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, we know we have that coming up, and do you either one of y'all plan to see it? Either, I mean, if in the theaters or if it is on something like Netflix or Hulu or whatever, do you intend to watch it when it does end up streaming, or will you certainly wait for it to come to streaming and not consider seeing it in the theater at all?
I am very lazy now. I've gotten almost, and this is frightening to actually say that I'm actually saying that, but
Uh-huh.
I've gotten out of the habit of going to movies now. So it's going to have to be something really um, outstanding or whatever to drag
Uh-huh.
me into the theater now. So,
All right.
but if I
Yeah,
can
I don't.
see it somewhere, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
How
I
about
don't
you,
see the.
Otto?
Yeah, I don't really see the need to go to a movie theater anymore. I
Really?
really no, I don't really want. But when it comes on the platform, I'm a big, huge Michael Keaton fan. I'm gonna definitely watch. I think he's done such a great job. There've been a few
Yeah.
movies or shows I didn't like him on. One was the epidemic regarding oxygen codeine. I didn't particularly
Mm-hmm.
care for that. I just
Hmm.
not it just didn't hit me the right way. But
Mm-hmm.
everything else, Keaton, I thought I followed his career since he was a stand-up comic. I think he's done an excellent job. He's an excellent actor.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. Agreed. And yeah, I would see it for to watch Michael Keaton. But again, I'm kind of I don't know if I want to see that badly to see it in a theater, but I think it's a type of film that if you knew that it was really good, to hear the laughs and stuff in the theater might be worth it. No, I don't know. It
Yeah,
might
yeah. I don't know
if
about
it
the theater. I think
if it
it,
delivers. If it
I think
delivers,
I
right?
think I think that horror films are like the
Hmm.
last best films for dates.
Yeah.
What's more romantic than grabbing each other over a tub of
Yeah. Go,
popcorn?
oh, we're scared. Yeah.
Yeah, that's I mean built for that. It's built for
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. And so that with comedy and horror mixed in together, they're probably really good. With jump
Hmm.
scare kind of silliness, it'll probably be fun. So, yeah, but again, to get dressed, go out there, stand in line. But you have to be in a certain mood to go see certain things. And I know there are a few films that I'm thinking of going seeing actually in the theater, but I don't think Beetlejuice is one of them. I think if the original Beetlejuice is a type of film, you would say, yeah, I'm going to see that in the theater. I'm not sure that this is that kind of film, especially because those of us who are feeling it as a nostalgia trip,
Mhm.
sit home, kick your feet up, make your own popcorn, relax into it, and be able to talk at the screen if it's not as good. Slow it down, with the remote, play things over, so things like that. So I think, yeah, it's more of a seeing it at home on platform, but we'll see. I mean, it depends. It may come out that it's marvelous and you know a great film to see in the theaters. I know the next film that I had on the list of is we talked about the Terminator 2024, which I thought was interesting because it is a anime, and I don't think we've had a Terminator anime yet. And if I'm wrong, please in the comments correct me. But I don't think we've had one, and I think it's kind of like,
Mhm.
from what I saw, like a mashup between the original Terminator and kind of like the Sarah Connor Chronicles, where it's a story of you know Judgment Day, and I know they did another one that's kind of like a Judgment Day thing too. But I think if that means they have a female lead, it appears. I don't know what her name is. I don't know if that is Sarah Connor or someone else, but it looks interesting. And I don't know though, since it is. I think this is not a film. I think it is a Netflix series, and
Now, what is
having
it, Sarah Connor?
it is an anime version. I don't know if it's Sarah Connor, but they do deal with people trying to stave off Judgment Day, like we had in Sarah Connor. So I don't know if it's just that they found that this format of stretching it out over episodes is a better way to tell the story. And I would tend to agree. I like the Sarah Connor Chronicles.
Now, is it
I,
Mhm.
I
anime?
was very
When you
sad that it didn't come back. Hmm?
now when you say it's anime, do you mean anime or animated?
It looks like anime. Did you see the uh the banner? I mean the graphic that we put up. That very beginning, that graphic, that is part of that.
Yeah.
So yeah, it looks like anime to me because it is certainly, I believe, in Japanese because it is being, it has subtitles, and captions.
But that is definitely something then that they're trying to almost it's like pandering. They're trying to get all the gamers to come in on it.
I think so.
Yeah,
Hmm. Well, I don't know. I just think the people who like anime would like it too. I mean, gamers maybe, but I think people who
yeah.
enjoy anime would want to see it. I mean, it looked
I
kind of
don't know.
interesting to me,
It has to be good. I mean, no, anime to me, I know the thing is that we used to watch anime when we were kids growing up.
right?
Speed Racer,
Kimba, Prince
Kimba, and all that stuff.
Planet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
whatever. So, but
I said whatever the Prince Planet, man.
you know what
Mhm.
what's going on with that. So
Yeah.
the thing is though is that I think it's become something that a lot of people are really interested in and all that. But just like any other genre, there are good ones and
Hmm.
there are bad
That's
ones.
true.
And so I'm not watching anime just because I want to be one of the
I
cool
mean,
kids and watch anime.
yeah, yeah,
There's a bunch of anime that I think because people say, "Oh, you got to watch anime. You got to watch anime. It's the
right.
latest thing," and they miss out a lot of good anime because, like it's like your thing with the series Taxi, right? So it's
Yeah, I'm
like
with you.
if you keep recommending, it's like my God, it's like can it be that
Yeah,
it's like, but there's Ito anime and there's some other anime show.
yeah. Junji
There's
Ito's anime is fantastic.
Yeah, there's a bunch of other anime. I forgot the name of some of them. I can't name them all now, but some of them are good, but a lot of
Hmm.
them are really bad.
Well, this doesn't look bad to me, well, at least from the trailer. I don't know because I don't know. I think it's actually, has it started already?
I don't know.
Let me
I don't
see.
think so.
Let me see. It was coming up soon or something like that. I think it's his coming soon thing. So,
But the only thing about that is that they have done so many Terminator derivations since. It's almost like those things. It's the rule is the first two are good. The first one is good, and the sequel is good. The first sequel is good, and then
mhm.
after that, it kind of goes down because we went from Terminator to Terminator Judgment Day to the Rise of the Machines, which had some good ideas, but it wasn't anything. It had good ideas, but it wasn't really anything new.
All right.
And
Well, from I'm sorry to interrupt, but from my I look, I'm on IMDb. It appears that it actually opened on the 29th. So it is
August,
okay,
on Netflix
on
streaming.
August, in August.
August 29th, yes.
Okay, okay. There's a bunch of stuff that started. I used to be on
Hmm.
top of everything. I mean, I can't believe that Futurama episode. I got to catch up on that.
Yeah.
And that's a
mm,
favorite show of mine. And there's a bunch of stuff that I try to keep track of.
Hmm.
But it's like you're inundated with a bunch of garbage, and the stuff you like is like lost.
All right. Well, my question then, having said that, was a Terminator anime film, mini series, limited series, was that something that people were crying out for?
No,
no.
no, nobody's crying for that.
I mean,
Nobody.
is it like you were saying, Cranston, earlier, that these particular types of works are like part of the zeitgeist and
Mm,
never left, and that people are always kind of interested in it. Do you think that's the case, or do you think it's just that someone who was in Japan tried to get the license to do it for years and years and years, and they finally let it go, and then developed this?
well, I think it probably falls into the category of one thing that makes a lot of these reboots and remakes and everything interesting is it's a passion project of somebody who
Mhm.
can convince somebody else to give them tens of millions of dollars so they can do it.
All right.
Yeah, yeah. Because I think, and maybe jumping ahead a bit, but M Night at one point was going to do the reboot Tales from the Crypt or something,
Right. I remember that.
and I thought that was
And that and that never.
interesting. Yeah, I thought it was an interesting
Yeah,
collaboration. It would have
yeah, but I
been
mean, it never materialized though.
no,
Mm-mm.
And I don't know if it's because they didn't have faith in him, or people thought horror was dead as a genre, or something subgenre. So I don't know.
No,
well,
I
I'm
think
kind of glad he didn't do it actually. So
yeah. Well, I think what has happened is he had an extremely promising career the first few movies, and
Mhm.
then after that, he's become sort of his own meme now. That if you hear him doing it, and people say, "Oh no, not him again." So
Well, that's so
well,
sad.
the thing is, if he had done this after he had done like his first several movies, if he had said, you know what, I'm gonna do Tales from the Crypt, if he had done it like that,
Uh-huh. Yeah,
it'd been a slam dunk. But
yeah. People would have definitely just let him do it. He would have been
oh,
able
are
to
you
do it.
kidding? No, absolutely. But
Yeah.
but
mhm.
I think that if you look at his career and you look at the career of Alfred Hitchcock, right?
Hmm.
Remember when Hitchcock had that period of years when people were
Hmm.
doubting whether he lost his stuff,
Yes, he lost the
he lost
touch.
his fastball, he lost his
Yeah.
touch, and then he came back with Psycho. So you think maybe M Night has that ability to regain his fastball, or maybe he never will. I don't know.
Don't know. I mean, every film that he comes out with, we all sit in the theater with bated breath. I
Yeah,
mean, we actually go to the theater,
it's
some
like watching
hoping.
Dwight Gooden pitch. You just hope
Right.
that he could throw his fastball like he did when he was on the mound when he was 25 or something.
Right.
So
Right. Yeah. So all we can do is go and hope, and that he bounces back with something interesting. I mean, and he's had a few, I guess not a few, a couple of films that have done okay, but nothing that touches what we would consider the original brilliance.
Hmm.
And maybe he is a trick of editing. that he has a whole lot of stuff and he needs a good editor to make sure that they weed out, a little bit of the shaft, trim the fat a little bit on it. But
Well, I thought he lost. Pinocchio, and I thought he lost it,
yes,
and I feel like I was right. And then,
signs,
and
you
then
said you thought.
yeah, but then he made a couple of good movies like Split and The Visit and
Hmm.
some other movie. And but he it's been more losses than wins.
Yeah, I mean, yes, it has never been like the real, like, mm, you know, right there that he did, of course, in I guess Unbreakable, or how he did in Sixth
The Sixth
Sense.
Sense, yeah.
Yeah, that he would never really quite,
Can
got
can he
there.
be can he be like Hitchcock and get Hitchcock say, okay, you think I lost my stuff? Well, look, watch this, and then he
Right.
breaks out
Uh,
with Psycho. I don't.
Well, come on. I mean, when he did the Avatar film, I was so disappointed because I was thinking, wonderful. He's back in his element, which is directing children, which he does really well. And it did not. It did, I mean, just missed, on the majority of the cylinders, and basically not enough, to get the engine moving, which is a shame because I think that it would have been great if he could have done that. Now he's got this film out now. What is it? Trap? Is that the
Yeah,
one?
Mhm.
it's been. Oh
And
my God, that film.
it's been savaged, and I'm almost tempted to watch it to see what's going on with it. And what was the other film he did that we saw recently? I'll tell
He
you, it
did
is
film it called Old. He did that.
no, I
That
didn't
was
see that
bad,
one.
and of course
What was the
Servant
one?
on
I mean, I
Apple.
think we saw one just recently, and I cannot remember what the title of it was. And I
Well, then
watched
he
it.
also did After Earth. So,
Yeah,
And the one with
and I thought,
the devils in the elevator, whatever that was.
oh, what is it called? Devil, I guess, right?
Yeah,
what was,
really, really
That's what it's
imagine.
called, correct?
Yeah,
Devil.
yeah.
Yeah,
was it?
really got really
Now,
creative with that title.
now, was that the one with the, I think it took place at Thanksgiving and the kids were visiting their grandmother or something?
That's
That
the
one was,
visit. Now
That's the visit.
the visit was okay.
oh, that was a
Oh,
visit.
okay. I'm
Okay.
looking now at IMDb, and
Mm.
it's even more, tragic. Now I have not seen Trapped yet, but again, it's been savaged by many. The Watchers is the one that we just saw on whatever the platform was, and it's kind
Was
of
that
meandering.
was that
Kind
what
of
is the
meandering.
Watchers? Was that
Yeah, yeah. The one of those people were in that place
was
in the
that
middle.
him?
Yeah,
I didn't
yeah.
think that was him.
He
Oh, okay.
produced it.
Oh, okay, but he didn't direct it or anything.
Yeah, he
All right.
produced it, but it's still saying, wow, that you put your name on these things,
Well, the thing is when
and what and Knock at the Cabin. Come on,
the thing is
that
if you look at
he
if you
produced
look
Old.
yeah, if you look at his trajectory and
Hmm.
you try to compare careers to like Hitchcock trying to regain his steps, it's like what Hitchcock did was he went to television, right? And then he
Yes.
did Alfred Hitchcock Presents, and he had help, with a lot of Roald Dahl
Hmm.
stories and other stories and stuff like that. And he didn't direct any. He directed a few of the episodes, but not a lot of them. And
Hmm.
so it gave him time to like try to get his groove back. And then Psycho is just a really long Alfred Hitchcock Presents
Hmm.
episode.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. But M Night should try something like that. But I think maybe the time has passed.
I don't know. Well, he could do it. But okay, Trap was written by him. Knock at the Cabin was written by him. Old was written by him. Glass was written by him. Split was written by him. It says the novella for Glass was written by him, so I guess it was adapted by someone else.
It's bad.
Uh,
Yeah, Glass was bad.
yeah, The Visit.
Glass was ass.
Yes. After Hours, a TV series, is a guest ending writer credit only. I don't know what that is about. After Earth, he did the screenplay Devil Story. The Last Airbender, he wrote The Happening, which I remember people saying that was terrible. Lady in the Water, I also thought was not good. The Village was also not good. Signs was the one you said that he first showed cracks,
Yeah,
in
and
his
then
in his
I
portrayal.
didn't know at the time that
Mhm.
Mel Gibson would start his nasty stuff, but
Mhm.
um what's the name should have been in that movie.
Mhm.
Um, not sure
Despite the
why.
fact that, yeah, I don't particularly care for him, but he would have done a better job in the role, I think.
Yeah, because he said I forgot what's the actor's name. Penelope.
I see his face.
Bruce
Uh,
Willis.
Yeah,
yeah, it's Demi Moore's
Bruce
ex. Yeah.
Willis. Bruce Willis said that M Night told him that he was going to do a trilogy of film, three
Mhm.
films, and he was going to be in all three. And
Mhm.
the first one was The Sixth Sense. The
Right.
second one was Unbreakable, and the
Mhm.
third one was going to be the what is it called?
Signs.
Science. So Science was going to be, and I think Willis would have done a better job than
Agreed.
Gibson. Yeah, and now I can't even watch that movie because Gibson's ugly face is in it. So
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. We can go without him. The ones that M Night directed, well, he's got, as they said, an untitled M Night Shyamalan project is coming up, and he's doing something called Labor of Love that's also in development. But Trap is when he directed Servant. Forgot about that.
yeah,
That
Servant. Yeah,
meandering.
just get to
Uh,
it.
oh my
I feel
gosh,
obligated. I feel obligated to
I'm
finish.
sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry.
But
There was a
every time I
thing.
start to watch it, hey, you come marching in the room,
Me?
and you, and then I got to turn away.
I mean, you can watch it. I don't care. I'm not following it anymore. I mean, it's just ridiculous. It's just meandering. I mean, I could miss an entire season, come right back in, and know exactly what's going on. It just has gone nowhere. Just
Well, the
nowhere. And
question is, why do they still give him film? I mean, you have to say,
they're hoping that they can catch, lightning in the
He got a
bottle.
lot of I mean, he did the script for what Stuart Little, and
Yes, he's got a whole lot of work behind it, but the problem is they want to see it on the screen, and they think that they can catch lightning in the bottle.
hmm.
They're just waiting for that opportunity. That's what I think. But I know he isn't on our list of any of the returns, reboots,
yeah,
or
we
yeah,
get a little dark now.
yeah, we're getting off far field. But one of the other things on our listing is Shogun, and I remember the original TV series that came on with Richard Chamberlain,
Hmm.
and I remember watching parts of it. I don't think I watched the whole thing, but I remember watching several episodes of it. And I think it's very interesting that in this iteration of it, they've changed some things up. I started watching it, but I did not follow up on it. So if anybody else has followed up on it, watched the original, are they alike, except for, certain issues where they had the woman in the old one, she was just, kind of the translator and this Lord's wife, I gather. And
Well,
now they have her actually wielding a sword.
Hmm.
you got to back up a bit though, Penelope.
Mhm.
You got to ask the question you asked of the others, like, is this something that somebody wanted?
I'm going to tell you, I don't know if it's something that I looked around and said, hey, sure would be nice if somebody redid Shogun, as my sons would say, because the Japanese says it's not gun, it's gun, Shogun. That it's not so I jumped up and said it needed to be done, but because I have seen so many Asian dramas, the K dramas, the C dramas, and J dramas, I thought it would have been very interesting to have that um, particular work done with a little bit more focus on the Asian cast than with the white savior, fish out of water story. To have a little bit more, in fact, a lot more focus on the Asian families, the culture of what it was that caused this, their response to it. Basically having somebody come to your house and kick the door open and say, "I'm going to come here and take what you got," or become like one of you. And maybe it's kind of hard for me in these kind of types of shows because the original Shogun was the fact that he's here and he becomes interested in the culture, but it's always that way, isn't it? That you have a white male who comes into someone else's culture, and now I'm learning it, and I know it better than you do. Now I don't know if that happened in this, but I'm pretty certain that it probably does.
No,
So
well, from the parts that I have seen where they've talked with some of the performers, that it's more, I think, following success, well, everybody wants to find the next whatever was successful
right,
before. And so they're still looking for something that's going to be the next breakout Game of Thrones, wherever
mhm,
they can find, if they can make
right,
it
right,
big and sweeping and this kind of thing, they do that. So it is more centered around the Asian characters than than another version of the Last Samurai, that kind of thing.
right, right. And I think Shogun was originally, just another version of like the Last Samurai.
Mm,
And I think that you know in one way, yeah, they, especially after things like Parasite did so well here and Squid Game did so well here, that there is an interest, I think. And I would kind of like to see how it is that the story is told, from this position, their focus. Even now, there's the anime, what is it, Blue Eye Samurai,
Yeah, I
which
like that better. I like
yes,
that a lot because the thing to me is that I'm not interested in Shogun. There's nothing about the
mhm,
narrative I'm really interested in. So making it more Asian, heavy doesn't do it because I'm not in. I don't care if it's told from. I don't care.
well, I mean, but okay, and
But
I
but the
understand that,
bluest,
but
but the Blue Eye Samurai, that
hmm
thing told a to
very
me
good,
told a very
very
good
good.
dynamic and driving story
Hmm.
that I was very interested in. And
Yeah.
so to me, it's about the story. And I think the dynamic in that anime between the Asian and the Asian culture and the
Hmm.
Western, Anglo culture was very
Right.
good.
But just why I think I would like to see this, because when we look at Shogun, the original, it's almost an apologist
mhm.
for the British coming, into Japan and basically, doing whatever they wanted to do. But we don't see it from the point of view of the people whose lives and lands, they are basically uprooting, they're, uprooting and just kind of taking over. Or I think it's interesting to see it from the point of view of those people as opposed to in the colonialist view, in the original. So I am a little bit interested. I started watching it and got away from it. So I may go back to it and check it out. So and I know I'm just going through because I have like my own little list here. But if there's anything anyone else has and they want to jump in and talk about, feel free. Um,
Well, the Godzilla remakes. I mean, there's just been a number of
yeah,
Godzilla remakes,
yeah,
and some of them are better than others. I think some of the Godzilla remakes, when they involve other creatures like King Kong or
mm,
something, those to me have been god awful.
yeah. They miss.
But the
They're more
one,
missed than hit.
yeah, but the ones that deal with Godzilla, I'm not talking about the ones with Bryan Cranston in it or anything, but the ones once again that are more
Mhm.
Asian oriented or
Yeah.
they've been fantastic. The last one that had on the anniversary of Godzilla, the release of Godzilla, that used the
Mhm.
original music and I thought it was good. The only thing I did not like uh, was a retelling, sort of a retelling of the of Japan's participation in World War II. I thought that was I thought that was a little dishonest, but I can understand what they were trying to say. But I think as far as a very good moving story with a horror element and monster element to it,
Mhm.
very good job. I think a lot of people missed out on it because
Yeah.
there've been so many stupid Godzilla remakes, and they
Yeah.
Mhm.
probably missed this one.
Yeah. But to the thing I liked about it, and I think we are on opposite sides of that. I like the humanizing of the regular people. And, these people, they have, it's not a democracy. They have kings and emperors and people basically that can command you to do things that you do not want to do. And I think a lot of people did not want to do, but they didn't have any choice in the matter, especially the main character who is, a kamikaze pilot, and he lands that plane saying that it had some problems with its engine or something. He was not intending to crash that plane and kill himself. He was not feeling that at all. And I think there are more people like that than we would imagine who just
Hmm.
did not want to do it. And then when you say I don't know if it's like those tales we hear of Germany where people are drugged and to have them do these things, but I think more often than not, you have a lot of people who did not want these things to happen. But I don't think that you can be too judgmental because I think in Japan there were a whole lot like how people are in the United States.
Well,
If
you
it's
know the
not, I
thing
just
is
can
that
say it, but I can say because
yeah.
it's not happening here on my homeland, only in someone else's home that we're tearing things up and doing all these horrible things. Well, it they don't, and it's not direct. They don't feel it. They don't see it. We don't know what the news looked like when they showed them what it was that it was done. Just like we aren't showed, a lot of things that are done in our name. So I don't like to,
Well,
judge too harshly.
right. But the issue is that it's a film, and you may deem my comments judgmental, and I may think it's a different way, but it's a good enough story that it causes a debate. You can talk
Right,
about it,
right, right.
as opposed to a lot of the other Godzilla movie, the remakes, where they have like some white woman go down to Middle Earth or something, and you know some sort of environmentalist thing where
Yes.
the Godzilla like creatures are protecting the Earth, and we need to get Mothra, and it's just
Hmm.
awful.
Yeah, I thought it was
Hmm.
excellent. I thought it was quite excellent. I mean, one of the best Godzilla films I've ever seen.
And they
You
just
know,
stop with the white people being environmentalists and
exactly.
being care and going and stop. No one wants to see that.
Right.
No one does.
And that's the thing that's ridiculous. Why the other one was so good because it just really kicks in the butt this concept that producers and directors and the industry has that unless they have an individual who is an Anglo person doing something, being the hero, a main character, then nobody will understand it, and that's just it. Just is not true. Just
It was horrible. I mean, I think one of the remakes of Godzilla that they had Mothra. They had I don't know whether she was an indigenous girl or whatever, that she can only
hmm
talk to the. It's like Hollywood needs to go and jump off a bridge. They're horrible.
yeah,
They're
and it's
horrible
so
in
off.
that.
And the thing is, the film right after the other one that was so good, then they create this thing that looks like it was made for 5-year-olds. I mean,
Yeah,
Hmm.
no
it's so
intelligence, no
insipid.
depth,
It's so
just
insipid.
nothing.
We don't have to argue or debate the meaning of that stupid film because it's
Yeah, yeah,
garbage.
yeah.
We can
And I mean,
debate about the other film because it has substance.
right. And you're right. This is one of those returns things. There were Godzilla here, and now Godzilla returns in this other film. And even though the Godzilla monster had a lot of the same abilities as the one of the previous Godzilla film,
He was
it just fell
scarier.
flat. It just
Hmm.
But
fell flat because it's just these
well,
monsters
in the
running around
Japanese
fighting each other.
version,
Yeah,
he was scarier.
that was horrifying. And the thing is, it was so horrifying because it's not like here comes a monster, he's stomping on everybody. Oh my God, you're killing it. It's like because the angle of the camera is from the ground level, and we are, there looking up, seeing how massive this thing is, and it can turn, pretty quickly. It's got this tail that can sweep everything, knock every building down to its foundation if it so chose,
Hmm.
and you just don't know where to go. Nowhere. You don't know what to do. What's going to make it turn around and come in the other direction or whatever. I mean, almost like what's it, Cloverfield. The same
Hmm.
feeling, you know, that you don't know. You're out of your depth completely. Just nowhere to go, nothing to do. I don't know what I can do.
And I love that in a monster
Yeah,
film. I love that feeling of being penned in, and logic goes out the window because
right.
it's irrelevant. Yeah,
True horror. Those are true horror films.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
you don't want to alienate your audience, so you have to make sure. But we want to be able to root for the monster too, because he's not really that bad. He's just misunderstood.
Oh, that's why I love Godzilla because it doesn't
no,
matter 'cause he was a
he was
monster.
horrible. He was
It,
horrible.
he just I mean it's been why because it is a monster and it's doing things and we don't understand why the monster's doing anything. We can't even figure out how to make it stop because we don't know why it's doing what it's doing. It's
Yeah,
just doing it,
he's
and you are in
horrible
the
and
way. It's like
he's
it's like
horrible and
if he's a
dangerous.
monster. He's walking in a straight line, and you are in the way. Your
Yeah,
Mhm.
civilization is in the way. You cannot move your whole civilization. Oh well. You got 7 minutes. Move your civilization or else.
yeah,
Not stopping. I'm on my way. That's what I'm telling you.
he's horrible and dangerous. And one of the things that they added on, which was an add-on, is like his ability to like take a blow from a missile and and then regenerate.
Oh my gosh. That
And that's
that
like,
was the worst. That's you just say, okay, I'm done. I'm done.
Mhm.
And every time they nuke it, fire on it, get it in any way, it comes back stronger. Oh my gosh. I mean, maybe it is an allegory regarding the escalation of war. It
Mhm.
doesn't get. It just comes back stronger every time, coming back stronger. And yeah, that is quite a good uh, film. And I don't know if its returns was good as that film, but I hope maybe they'll get their acts together if they decide to do something else like that because they just had so many bad films made in the United States that are Godzilla films. They're just simply awful.
yeah, that was a good remake, but it got lost
Yeah,
among all the other idiotic
yeah,
remakes.
yeah, but it's a fantastic film. Fantastic film. One of the films was a film, the original of this favorite is the Mr. and Mrs. Smith, and they followed up. I think it was a Netflix show,
Mhm.
Mr. and Mrs. Smith. And honesty, I did not watch a day of it. Has anybody else watched it?
No.
No.
No, I didn't watch it. It's like something that I may have wanted to watch, but then I had other stuff to do. It's not, you know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
I would find time because it's a good show. I would find time to watch it, but it's not. No, it's not on my list to watch or anything.
Yeah.
No.
Well, it gets to be one of those things where it's not so much that you don't find the time for it, but you deliberately find the time to do something instead of watching it.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah,
It's not something that
like work,
attracted me.
like work or laundry or
Yeah, something like that. I just did not. It did not grab me.
Yeah, I wasn't
It may
feeling it.
be a good show, but
And
it
and,
just did
and
not
the thing
grab
is, a
me.
lot of these reboots, like we talked about Beetlejuice, and the audience that is targeting, um, maybe that reboot of Mr. and Mrs. Smith, it was, we're not the target audience, and so it
Yeah,
doesn't
and it's
matter.
possible that we're not the target audience.
Well, the other thing that went along with it is it's the kind of thing where that, like I said, a lot of actors and directors have passion projects, something they just want to do because they think it would be fun to do it. And then they lose interest because I think the second season, nobody from the first season came back.
There's a second season.
What?
There's a
I
second season, yeah.
heard it say the same thing. It's like it's the second season.
There was a second season, yeah. And they never
Wow.
really said how the first season concluded, but they did announce when they were doing the second season that, oh, yeah, the people from the first season aren't going to be back doing this one.
Wow.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
That's
Well,
so,
I missed them both, so
hmm
accumulate more, and I'll miss it. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, maybe not the target. I mean, I was reading about a magazine where they were criticized. The magazine was criticized because it had in its pages, "These are the faces of our city," kind of thing,
hmm
and everyone in the photograph was white, and
Huh.
so a woman of color wrote and said, how could you have this in your magazine? It doesn't reflect diversity in the city, and et cetera, et cetera. And that then publisher of the magazine said, we're targeting people that make over $270,000 a year,
Mm-hmm.
and are college educated or graduate school educated, et cetera, et cetera. So that our studies show that that's not a very diverse
Mm-hmm.
demographic, but that's our
Yeah.
demographic, and that's what we're targeting.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, you're not in it, so
So why should
sorry.
we care?
Yeah, we don't
We're not even much
really
of
care.
bother trying to market to you.
We're not
Mm-hmm.
trying to market to you for no reason,
Mm-hmm.
because you're not gonna advertise. Are not interested in you, and neither are we.
Oh yeah.
So it's like Mr. and Mrs. Smith. It's like, maybe it's targeted toward people that are not us. Although it got it got black and Asian person in it.
Yeah.
Well, the first season it had Donald Glover was in it.
So who's the
Yeah.
second season?
I'm not sure who the people are, and then of course, if these are different characters altogether, is
Are
this
you
So they're
joking?
really?
doing like the American Horror Story
Yeah,
setup. Okay.
Oh, well, maybe I will watch it
I
then.
might try it then and see what's going on.
Yeah, I never know that. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
but if I was their target demographic, I would know it. So,
That's right. You would know. You
yeah.
absolutely would know. Mhm. So it's there any other of these reboots, remakes, or returns that are coming up
well,
anytime?
it's
Mhm.
like I just finished watching. Well, a couple of weeks ago, just finished watching Batman: The Cape Crusader,
Mhm.
and we've seen Batman reboots until they're coming out of our freaking ears.
Yeah.
It's like almost I'm sick and tired of Batman reboots, but
Yeah. Yeah.
this particular reboot of the Batman, not necessarily retelling, kind of a retelling,
Kind of
was done by Bruce Timm, who did the one of the producers
a
of
Batman
the
animated series.
Batman the animated series, and so they tried to recreate that feeling, that look. I
Excellent
thought they
job.
I thought they did a very good job. They have different people in different places and
Mhm.
different characters, and the storylines are worth a look. I thought they did a very
Yes.
good job of that.
Yeah, I thought so too.
Yeah.
I thought it
Well,
was.
it's
Did you get to see it also, Cranston?
not yet, but Batman is like almost a quarter of all of the comics that DC puts out,
Mhm.
or Batman
Wow, amazing.
affiliated. Yeah, so that's there. And the irony was that they were getting ready to pull the plug on the comic after the 60 series, because they said, well, nobody's going to take it seriously anymore.
Ah,
But
interesting.
yeah, but no. So there will always be Batman something, and then there's so many variations, and then they do the imaginary stories and the
Mhm.
Elseworld stories and the other stories, and this could have happened stories and stuff. So
Yeah.
Yeah, this is very good because I think, of course, the original voice of Batman, the animated series, the actor is no longer. He
Yeah.
died. He died several years ago, but
Kevin
this
Conroy.
actor, yes, and so
Conroy.
this actor, is not trying to recreate that voice, but it's just a different a different
A
variable of
variant
that
of that
voice,
voice. Yeah.
and you know, Cranston mentioned the '60s series, and the
Mhm.
reason that the Batman's franchise that's going down, circling the drain, is because not only weren't people taking it seriously, but it was a feeling, even as a kid, that watching that show, that it didn't take its fans seriously.
It's a quasi comedy almost.
Yeah, it's
well,
like I want to be taken as a kid. I want to be taken seriously. It's like watching Johnny Quest. Not you
Right.
always got the feeling that Johnny Quest, even as a kid watching it, they took me. It didn't. It
Right.
didn't.
Right.
It didn't have a dog, a fucking dog that talked or no stupid shit
mm,
like that.
Yeah, it's a regular
It took me.
dog.
It had a beginning, a middle, and an end. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
so it took me
well,
seriously, and I thought that the '60s Batman did not take me seriously, and
Mhm.
so I had no respect for it, and it was circling the drain, and it had because it didn't have any respect for me as a fan.
well, it's the intent of the people who did it, and you don't know if this is what they meant at the time, or this is their revisionist version of it. But they
Yes.
were saying that the 60 series was supposed to be a satire, and just not everybody caught on to it. And they said that they weren't supposed to take it seriously, and that was the
Mhm.
intent for it to be not taken seriously. So it was just something that was so refined that we were too dumb to know it at the time. You know, them walking up the side of the building and Sammy Davis Jr.'s head pops out of the window, or the
Mhm.
fact that I think that the best line was one from The Simpsons once, where they were showing an episode where Krusty the Clown was the guest villain,
Mhm.
and they were doing something on. He had put him on some kind of merry-go-round, something or other, and Batman pulls out his anti-merry-go-round acceleration spray, and then
Mhm.
Krusty says, "You have something for everything in that belt, don't you?" So.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but at the same time, they had the Green Hornet, which was
Yes, that's
made by
true.
the
And that
same
was much more
producers, and they
serious.
and they acted seriously on that
Yeah.
show. And matter of fact, Green Hornet made a guest star appearance on that show,
Yeah.
as if Robin was going to be able to beat up Kato or something.
Yeah. Right.
It's
And then
like
they woke up.
it's like Kato. Robin take this kick in the face from Kato. Take that seriously.
Yeah.
What was
Yeah.
that line from Robin Harris had said that Mike Tyson woke up and believed he said something to me. He better wake up and apologize. So yeah.
Yeah. It's okay now.
I could get a little tongue in the cheek stuff like the walking out the window and people popping out, but I
Mhm.
felt like I mean, some of the stuff as a kid, watching as a kid and especially watching in the repeats, some of the stuff looked pretty cool, like
Yeah.
the bat boat and the bat
Yeah. Yeah. Those are
helicopter
so cool.
and the
Those
fire
are
coming out of the back of the Batmobile and
yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
But
But things interesting to me is that you're saying like that, walking up the side of the building. It occurred to me like not. I mean, I'm saying actually recently that the Joel Schumacher film, at the very beginning, one of the first scenes, and then driving up the side of the building, and I was thinking, because this is supposed to be like a remake of the old Batman films, that was an approximation of the thing where they go up with the rope and walk. Where this is the
Hmm.
driving up the side of the building.
Yeah.
I hate that scene so much. I just want to let you know. It fell flat for me, even now that I know
well,
what it was.
the
It fell
Tim
flat.
Burton the Tim Burton Batman, the Batman films took his audience seriously. I thought.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, it has some tongue in cheek stuff like where the bat plane goes up against the moon, and
Yeah, I love that.
it
And
looks
there's a
like the
bat
bat
signal.
signal.
Hmm.
Then it goes like, no, I love it.
I mean, there's several things, tongue in cheek things. You know what I mean? But it took his audience serious. It took the kids and the parents who came to see
Yeah,
the movies. It took them seriously.
exactly.
Well, well, that's where the problem comes in, because you get studio interference, and this is where somebody in the studio, and the thing that drives me crazy is that they always take these things that everybody knows what the property is, and they want to get the audience for the three people on the whole planet who apparently
Ah,
don't know what it is. And they thought that the Tim Burton films were too dark and too
oh,
serious,
oh, they're
and
wonderful, wonderful.
and they didn't know that. Well, that's why there is a reason they call Batman the Dark Knight. So
Yes, yes.
okay, but they wanted to do something that would be more kid friendly, so that's why they went
They
with.
were, but they weren't good. They were
Mhm.
not good. I don't think. I don't even think they were kid friendly.
No,
I
I
think
mean
they were
they
just
must be like the JD Vance version of people that don't have any kids or something.
Yeah,
Because the thing is,
Batman elegy. Yeah, so
mm,
yeah. So it's like kids want to be taken seriously.
yeah.
right.
I know our kids went to the movies; they didn't like that
They were,
garbage.
yeah, they like taken
Hmm.
seriously. They enjoy the films that are done. They're telling a story. And just tell the story. Just go for it.
And
And
the question I asked Cranston last week or the week before, I'm not sure whether the '60s series ever mentioned the murder of
yeah,
Batman parents. I don't think the
Hmm.
Schumacher uh, films mentioned the murder of Batman parents. Maybe I'm wrong.
I
The
can't.
only thing they did in the one where they introduced a Chris O'Donnell as a 30-year-old teenager as Robin, he did show his parents being killed, and they had like a little flashback. I think he might have mentioned it. He had that that's why he
Commonality.
does what he does or something like that.
Right.
But they never talked about that at all. And of course, that was the whole thing that made Batman. Batman is kind of like, if you don't have that backstory, you have to wonder, well, this guy is just kind of crazy doing this stuff. If that's
Right.
what,
Right.
if he's doing that.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think you have to have that backstory that explains why he is so focused.
Hmm.
Why he's become focused and stayed focused.
In fact, one of the things that they did well in one of the endless reboots that DC does every 3 or 4 years, I think this was the one after the New 52 or whatever, where all of these guys are meeting up for the first time. And the first two people who meet up are Batman and Green Lantern. And Green Lantern is shocked when he finds out, says, wait a minute, you mean to tell me you don't have any powers, no abilities,
Mhm.
nothing? You just dress up like a bat and jump out buildings all the time?
Yeah.
And so it did, you do have to kind of put it in context to
Yeah.
give the character something. But they just decided to make it fun and things would be cute, like the bat skates in the one with Mr.
Mhm.
Freeze and the Bat Express card, don't leave home without it. And you're
Yeah.
sitting there going, no, no,
Yeah.
no, not,
Just come on,
not.
y'all.
No,
Come on.
no,
Come
no.
on.
I like the
More.
Dark Batman. I like the Batman
Yeah.
Animated. I don't know whether Batman the Cape Crusader, the one that came on Amazon,
Mhm.
whether that's gonna. I mean, they're gonna renew Mr. and
Mhm.
Mrs. Smith so quickly. And any indication, Penelope, that that's gonna have the Batman the Cape Crusader is gonna have a second season
Looking, and it only has the. I
because
mean,
that's
that
a
does have season for 2025. It has season 2, episode 1 listed. Although there's nothing there yet. It does have a season 2, episode 1. It
oh
indicates
great.
2025.
Great, because I that's one reboot that I really like, and it's a
Yeah.
reboot. It's a reboot of a specific Batman universe, which is
Right.
Batman the animated series.
Right.
Well, I
Which is
think it
great.
helps the fact that they have people involved with the one that was successful and they knew
Yes.
what worked. And they said, okay, so this is what the people like, and this is what we're going to, stick with
Give
that.
them more of that. Give
Yeah.
them more of that. Yeah, it's a great franchise, and I'm glad that they are trying to retain the serious nature that makes it so good.
Yeah, because I don't know, did anybody remember when they did, I think they did 2 or 3 seasons of that one, The Brave and the Bold, where every week Batman would team up with somebody else.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that.
Did you
But
like that?
to me, it's not Batman the animated series with the diesel punk, kind
Hmm.
of uh, atmosphere was just hit perfectly, and they just did such a wonderful job. Just
Yeah,
beautiful.
the portrayal of Bruce Wayne, that
Hmm.
dichotomy. I'm a playboy. I'm always
Yes.
chasing after this one or that one,
Hmm.
with the seriousness of Batman.
Yes. It's just really great. It's kind of reminds you of the Batman Superman being kind of the same. That Batman is the real person and Bruce Wayne is
Hmm.
the what do you call it? His
Alter ego.
alter ego, right? He's not
Hmm.
his real self. And Superman is the actual human being, and Clark Kent is the facade, the alter ego.
Hmm.
What do you think? You think that you think that's accurate? I mean, if you were Clark Kent, would you be chasing after this one or that one like Bruce Wayne would be? You wouldn't be.
Yeah, but I think his problem was being brought up in a small town that he had to withdraw. He could not be really, out there doing stuff. Batman, Bruce Wayne was a millionaire, billionaire playboy. He came up from money. He was, expected, went out a lot, was expected to be out, mingling among the wealthy, you
Hmm.
know, and he did that. So I don't think that would have worked as well
Clark
because
Kent was a
and I think
newspaper.
the reason I think it would work as well is because
Right.
in Batman, even though Bruce Wayne is doing these things, these are the things he's expected to do. You know, he's
Right.
expected to do it. If Clark Kent did those things when he was growing up or coming, young men, people would say, "What in the heck?" There would be a lot of focus on him, and the
Mhm.
whole point was to not be focused, is to blend in. So
Yeah,
like,
that was the revisionist thing they did. They said, well, if we could revise Batman's motivation, we can do that for Superman. And so Superman became the ultimate immigrant story
mm,
in that somebody who wanted to blend in and be like everybody else. And that's why he didn't want to stick out, because he just wanted to be accepted
right, right.
for who he was, not, that
But
he could, pick lettuce faster than anybody else out there in the field or something
Well,
like
I
but
that.
don't think it's the issue of him wanting to be accepted for who he was. I mean, it's pretty clear, his parents and where they're from, that this would not be safe for you. I mean,
tone
Hmm.
let's
it
face it.
down.
I mean, if you're watching The Boys, granted that they made Homelander, but if Homelander had dropped from a star, if he'd been, you know, born from his mother's womb, he would still be in that building with people prodding, poking, injuring him for the sake of science.
Hmm.
So, Superman had to be quiet because his parents knew he was in danger.
Yeah,
Hmm.
Department of Defense was trying to open up his brain and all that.
Exactly.
But what about you guys ever see Wonder Man?
No. Is that the one you were telling me about today?
Wonder Man, no Wonder. That's Danny Kaye movie. Wonder Man is a Saturday Night Live Superman thing where basically it's like Wonder Man is always trying to hook up with people and
Oh,
like
I remember that.
yeah.
I remember that. Okay.
If you your boyfriend, oh, so Penelope, you going out with Cranston, huh? Or get
Yeah.
grab Cranston by the scruff of his neck and throw him to outer space.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go. Oh, I guess he's not here
I don't know
anymore.
what happened to him. He never shows up, I guess.
Right. Yeah,
What
that.
Wonder Man?
Well, I can look at that tonight. All right. Well, I'm looking at our time, and we are just spilling just a little bit over. And I mean, which is just pretty good for us because it's just the three of us.
Hmm.
We don't have a whole lot of other voices. We managed to do it all on our own. Um, I
Anybody?
think that
Anything else on your list that
I,
we missed?
I don't have really anything else on my list that we missed. I think we've kind of hit quite a few of them, but I'd like to be looking out for what it is that is coming next. I mean, we didn't talk. I mean, we kind of touched on a little bit
Hmm.
tangentially, but even something like the Wednesday Adams being, a uh, return, I guess, kind of the Adams
But is
family.
that is it the Adams Family?
Well, it's kind of like singling out one particular character
Because
from
I
the
when
Adams
when I
family. It
saw
does
the
have the
show,
parents. Excuse
when I
me.
saw Wednesday's show, and I saw, them dropping her off to school,
Hmm.
I would have loved to have seen the Adams Family
The actual family.
with
Well, I don't
those
know if
cat.
they
With,
actually did do any of the stuff with the family because I didn't get that far into it.
yeah, but
But
in
I
the
know,
beginning, in the beginning, that was
They
yeah,
did have some interactions that she had with Gomez
yeah,
in the course of the show and everything, and that would be sort of like a reimagining, that we're looking at the same character, but we're going to put it in another. We're going to tweak it and put it in another situation or something like that. So it's the Adams universe, but
right, right,
another corner of it.
right. His
yeah,
Thing.
yeah,
Well, Thing went to school with her.
Yeah.
yeah.
So
I love what's his name, Louise,
Guzman,
huh? As yeah, it's
Guzman,
Gomez
Luis
Adams.
Guzman.
Yeah, yeah, he's great.
I mean, I think it's very interesting because he looks so like grimy to me in that role.
He was
He's all
so
dressed
great.
and everything, but
Yeah,
just he and Morticia, Catherine Zeta-Jones does I think she does a good turn as Morticia.
And I
And
think that, and to me, I think they missed the boat. They should have done um, the Adams Family reboot with those people in it instead of doing Wednesday Adams as Hardy as Nancy Drew or something. I don't
mm.
care for that too
Well,
much.
maybe they will the next season if they do something like that. That will go back into the household, so that we get the whole Adams family dynamic again. But it'll be interesting to see.
The other thing is, Penelope, before you go, the Daily Show, because politics have become so hot right now, the reboot of the Daily Show. What you've seen a couple of episodes. What do you think?
Yes, I actually kind of like it. I
There's
think it
no
is.
there's no one host anymore.
No, it's smart. It's fun. Uh, you know, it's interesting. Uh, it, what is it? Irreverent. I think that
Mhm.
they do a pretty good job. How do you feel about it?
I feel I
Mhm.
feel it's a lot better than it was before. I
I
think
agree.
that this thing about both sides are bad is they've learned the
Hmm.
error of their ways.
Yes.
One side is you could say both are bad, but one side is way badder than the other.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is much worse.
Mm.
Right. So I think that they they did that, and I think um, it's almost you got to laugh, not to cry, kind of thing.
Hmm.
And I have thoughts about Jon Stewart because of what happened to Wyatt Cenac,
Hmm.
and I don't know whether he had more black writers or black people. I know there are a couple of black people on his show. I'm not sure if they're writers or not, but
Hmm.
it's a little more sharp than it was before.
Hmm.
Well, I think if you look back on the Daily Show, you could see that, yeah, although it was a big cast of people, that you could tell which ones were kind of the favorites because they're the ones that all went on to either host something or do something else. And so it was like it's like the old Animal House line: all animals are equal, but some animals are more equal than others.
Yeah.
So,
Mm.
It's interesting that a lot of the men went on to do um, larger things and become bigger stars, but not a lot of the women
Yeah.
I
had the
think
same kind of
Samantha
result.
Bee was the only one.
And then her show was canceled.
Yeah.
So so
Yeah.
you had yeah.
The opportunity is there yet because the same people, the money people, the
Mhm.
programming people are the same. And until they're gone and you have more open people with that, type of position, it's going to still be more of the same. Yeah, I want to say, okay, that Monday is a holiday. It is Labor Day. And most of you all know this time of year, usually we are coming, to you from some beach somewhere, but that didn't happen this year. We could regale you with the story of our refrigerator, but I don't think anyone wants to hear that sad
Remember the
tale.
time that was your show on the time that we had that hurricane down there in Galveston?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yep. So there we go. So usually, we are, somewhere, but this year we're not. We are here, which is not a bad place to be, except for the temperature being like,
Yeah.
in the 90s and just stretching sometimes to the hundreds. But I think it'll be nice. What are you planning to do for your Labor Day, Cranston?
Let me see. I'm actually going to use that. I always use holidays and things like that as an artificial time to rededicate myself to doing something more productive. So that's what I'm going to attempt to do this Labor Day. And ironically and stuff, the day when everybody else is goofing off, because since it's on a Monday this year, it's thrown everybody else off because you can't really make it into a 3-day weekend. And then if you have the barbecue, you got to go to work Tuesday, and that just
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
something right. So I'm going to try to be more productive.
All right, cool. All right. How about you, Otto? Anything in particular for your Labor Day?
No, no. I just want to say happy birthday to baby. Happy birthday to my baby. And then I had to
Yes.
say, I just hope that people wake up. I think we've been in country's been kind of sleepy days, and
Mm,
I hope we wake up and do what we know what we need to do.
yeah.
I just hope, I've been listening to Noam Chomsky all day. That's my thing. I listen to Chomsky all day and probably listen to Chomsky all weekend. And now I think I know the truth a little bit more.
Yeah.
But I think that if we can get to a point where we can celebrate each other and help each other and care for each other, and
Mhm.
as opposed to the Adam Smith, the thing that Adam Smith said we shouldn't do, which is basically only care for ourselves and don't care for others.
Mhm.
Think we have a shot,
Yeah.
and understand what Labor Day is all about. It's about union and
But
getting
yeah,
together.
it's the
Yeah,
laborers, the
laborers.
workers. Yeah. So yeah, we're gonna applaud all workers, all labor. Thank you for your service, for
Mhm.
sure.
We never say that. You know that
Hmm.
we never say that on Labor Day. Thank you for your service.
Thank you for your service.
We never
All
say that.
Americans laborers,
Yeah,
all laborers. Thank you. Right.
especially the stuff we went through, but COVID and
And
people,
COVID, are you kidding?
you know,
The heroes for sure.
right? Except for Lowe's.
Yeah, but except for Lowe's, we don't give them anything. But all give lip service, the heroes, but they don't really mean it. But I think most people truly do mean it. We're grateful for the work
Except
that
for
people do.
Lowe's and United Healthcare
And United Healthcare. Except for Lowe's and United Healthcare. That's right
and
there.
Saks Fifth Avenue
Yeah, them too. They're all the bad category. If you were
Mhm.
Santa Claus, they would be on the naughty list.
and Nordstrom.
Hmm.
Nordstrom too, Penelope.
Oh yeah, they get the bad list this time too. Bad list of
And
Nordstrom as well.
CBS.
Yes, CBS is on top of the bad list. Yes, they're on the top of the naughty list.
Now, is that CZS or CBS?
CV is in Victor S. The
Oh, okay. Yeah.
drugstore. The drugstore. That has a problem with dispensing out our drugs. We'll see. All right. Well, you all, it's been a wonderful show. I think keep our eyes out for more of this type of action, with these companies, the industry, kind of rehashing what it has already made, and some of it because of the changes in technology.
Hmm.
Actually, is better than some of the original works, and with some of the original works are far more outstanding than
Hmm.
some of the reboots and the remakes.
Yeah, like
And
Godzilla. Like the what's
yeah,
it? Godzilla plus
yeah,
minus zero. What is it called?
yeah, just 0 minus 1 something. That's right.
It's better than the original.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Much better. Story is better. Monster is better. All of it better. Right. So, I but anything that you have to say, report Cranston.
Just that there have been so many of these reboots and reimaginings and things come out that they have come and gone, and you didn't even know, because I did
Yes.
not know that they had done a remake or a reimagining or a reboot of The Crow, which
Oh
absolutely
yeah, that's
tanked.
coming
Yeah.
out. Right.
Yeah. Notice that too. I don't know why that needed to
I
happen,
forgot. I
but
forgot about
apparently,
that.
yes, that also should have been on the list.
Yeah,
Don't know why that was a thing that had to happen, but
yeah,
again,
yeah.
Cranston, I think maybe this falls into
Well,
your comment regarding things being just part of the
well,
zeitgeist.
let me ask you this though. Let me ask y'all this. What did y'all think of the original Crow?
I didn't like it. I didn't
Cranston?
like
I
it.
mean,
Mm. No, it was something that because of the tragedy that happened when they were
Yes.
making it, that it became a thing and everything, because it was a big what if this had happened, and it probably wouldn't have, but
Yeah, and the unfortunate thing also about it is that because he was not a very good actor, and you can't even criticize it. No one's able to review it in the way of saying that it was not a particularly good actor,
mhm.
and the role probably should have gone to someone else.
I don't know about that, but I mean, the role didn't require a lot from him, so
And
I thought he.
imagine that the fact is it doesn't require a lot, and he still could not.
Deliver,
Well,
yeah, okay.
Yeah, so, yeah.
I think you guys are too harsh on Brandon. I
I
think.
know I'm not. I'm not because I look at the fact that again, such as he had lived. That was a career making role
Right.
because they did multiple Crow films. So somebody who could really have grabbed that thing and made a name for themselves, it would have been
Hmm.
something else. I mean, you have to understand also that the only reason that you remember it at all is because of Brandon Lee. If somebody else had played that role in the same way that he had, the film would have been forgotten.
Oh, I don't know. I think it's debatable.
Yeah,
I mean,
maybe.
I think one of the major reasons people remember that movie is because of the tragedy that happened to Brandon Lee. But
Yes,
I think he did a serviceable job. I think the story was kind of not as tight as it could have been. You know, it was kind of
yeah,
that.
exactly. It really was kind of
I mean,
okay.
Ernie Hudson was in it. He did a good job.
Yes, but a person who plays a supporting character cannot carry the film.
No, he's not. Ernie Hudson is not the Crow.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
I thought he did a pretty good job because you look at these heroes who are carrying these films, and you talk about the Christopher Reeve and the Michael
mhm.
Keatons and the Tobey Maguires and stuff like that. They don't necessarily have to be Laurence Olivier or something. You know what I mean?
They don't, but they should probably be good though. I mean, the guy who plays the villain was in Jeff Wincott. He is very good. He's very good, and it's unfortunate that the and what's called the protagonist is not at the same level of acting as the antagonist in this
Hmm.
case. Because again, this should have been, you know, a big film for him as well. But when the person who got the role, I mean, just that little girl who's acting in it said she's really bad. Just it's just bad. I mean, it's just not a good film.
So do you anticipate this one being better? I don't know
Yeah,
who's in.
it
I don't
can't
know
be
who's
Bill
going to be Crow.
Skarsgård.
Who's going to be Crow? Who's going to be Crow?
Bill Skarsgård.
Is he the same guy who did the who played it?
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
yes, and he's a
What?
very good actor.
Mhm.
So I can imagine that is going to be better.
And when is that coming out?
It comes out. Let me see here.
It's come out close to
Uh,
Halloween
I don't know.
because
I'm
that's a
looking.
Halloween movie. I mean, it's like Devil's Night and all
Yeah,
that.
it was on Halloween. It was a Halloween thing. I'm trying to find. I got so far IMDb. I don't know if it's out yet, but IMDb got like at 4.7 out of
What?
10. But understand this: the love interest in it is a black woman. So you gotta
Oh,
consider that
you gotta take
when
off 4
yeah the
points.
way- yeah they gotta take out yeah they're gonna take out at least 3 points
I
for
think
that.
4. So you got to add 4 points back to the score.
Yeah, they take that off. I mean, FKA Twigs is playing the Royal Shelley.
So that I mean, Shuddy gets killed early in the movie. Number one.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about this reboot. So when is it coming out?
Let me check it out. I just see it here. Most of the things you can see the date uh pretty quickly. I may have to go somewhere else because I don't see it on here. I see the time, then it's rated R, blah blah blah, but I don't see when it opens. It says in theaters, but it don't say when.
In
Um,
theaters only.
um,
For the first three
maybe
weeks.
maybe today. I think it opened today.
If it did, it's too early too.
It seemed that it opened today. I think. Let me see.
I don't think
Uh,
it's a day.
huh?
Saturday is not a day that movies open.
I don't know. I'm just trying to see based on the movie thing, movie guide. Okay. Show times. Yeah, it shows today.
It open today on Saturday?
I do
Wow.
not. Oh no. It was released on the 23rd. The 23rd.
Of August.
Yes.
Okay.
And that it was a
A
Friday.
Tuesday
Friday,
or Friday?
the 23rd of August. It opened on a
Okay, that
Friday.
makes sense. That makes sense.
Hmm.
Once again, way too early though.
Yeah. So I'm trying to see. I guess I should see. Well, they have two. What do you call the ratings and stuff? IMDb. They have one as the 4.7 people that rated it out of 10. But then they have. I don't know. I can't. I don't understand that.
What about Penelope? Can you get on Metacritic?
Sure, I can do that because I have a computer. Let's see, Metacritic.
Which is what I use.
Okay. Oh, you know what? We forgot about doing the Rings of Power. I thought we said we are going to get back on that too.
Yeah.
Oh, hold on. Hit the wrong crow.
There've been several, a couple of sequels, right?
Wow, they've given like a 30.
On Metacritic.
Yeah, the
Oh man, that
critics
means bad.
review is a 30, and the user score is a 3.9.
Oh my god.
A modern reimagining of the original graphic novel by James O'Barr. Soulmates Eric and Shelley are brutally murdered when the demons of her dark past catch up with them. Given the chance to save his true love by sacrificing himself, Eric sets out to seek merciless revenge on their killers, reversing the worlds of the living and the dead to put the wrong things right. Well, I'm wondering, is this one they did, is it closer to the actual
Graphic
graphic
novel.
novel or not?
I don't know because I in the movie he didn't have any option of bringing her back to life. So
This is somebody said IndieWire said they gave it 50. The Crow was not a waste of talent or resources. Worse, it just hangs there on the screen, as undead as Eric himself.
wow,
Okay.
wow, and that's like one of the best reviews.
Yeah, and somebody's slash film says Sanders is the Crow has nothing on its mind and forgets why we should be sad and frustrated at the death and meaningless violence in the world.
That's important. That's important in
Hmm.
that movie.
Somebody says Skarsgård and Twigs have a total absence of chemistry. And while she's adequate in what's still basically a dead wife role, he's shockingly inert for someone with
Wow,
a career built almost entirely on characters at the intersection of creepy and hottie. Wow.
wow.
Okay.
Maybe see Penelope. Maybe if you had a better actor.
Hmm. I think it's interesting to the bad chemistry.
Yeah, but he was nothing. He's a
Hmm.
nothing burger.
Well, we should do a show sometime about is this really the end of cinema as we know it? Because it could be that this is finally something that does make a change, but there are a
Hmm.
lot of things that a lot of these people passing these judgments are not professionals. And you
Hmm.
just throw up a few buzzwords like no chemistry, this, that, and the other, and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
then you will fill in that this was not as good as it should have been or whatever. And it could be it's just people that don't know what they're talking about.
Well, someone here they gave this a I don't know what this supposed to mean. Said comparison is a thief of joy. As a fan of both the original The Crow and City of Angels, I had my reservations. This is Jonathan Harker. However, I approached this new adaptation with an open mind. This version of The Crow is clearly aimed at introducing a new audience to the series. From the characters' appearance to the young couple's struggle and their battle against corruption, everything has been reimagined. This is not The Crow from 1994, nor does it try to be. It's a fresh narrative, dark, gothic, and violent. While it pays homage to the original comic, it wisely avoids rehashing the elements from the previous Crow films. The depiction of the crow's power is unique, showing Eric as initially confused, somewhat weak, and unsure. His interaction with a guide in the land of the dead adds a new layer to his journey. In many ways, it draws parallels to Romeo and Juliet. I have a deep love for the crow. I even watched City of Angels in theaters. This new adaptation deserves something. I can't, hold on, I gotta scroll down. This meditation deserves its own title, something like The Crow Detroit or The Crow 2034. It's in a class of its own, which is refreshing. If I wanted to watch Brandon Lee's version, I could, but I was looking for something new. This film is amazing. They gave it a 10.
Okay.
So that it's interesting. We'll see.
Yeah, I heard of that critic before.
Me too. So I think it's gonna be one of those things that we have to either decide that we're not gonna watch or decide to watch. You know, um, we just have to decide.
I'm definitely gonna watch it. My
Uh,
question has always been, am I going to the movies? What? And no, I'm not.
yeah. Okay. Now this is the thing. Someone else. Who is this? This is Roger Moore from Movie Nation. And it says the cursed comic book The Crow earns a gloomy, turgid remake 30 years after a film with the revenge from beyond the grave thriller got rising star Brandon Lee killed on a non-union set in North Carolina. This reboot or reimagining arrives in a post-John Wick cinema where the violence is far more graphic, gruesome, and wallowed in by director Rupert Sanders' Snow White and the Huntsman. Anything to keep us from focusing on a stumbling, emotionally unavailable performance by Bill It Skarsgård, who at least looks junky thin and great in the hollow-eyed makeup. Our hero is riddled with bullets, torn by blades, and asphyxiated in assorted blasts of horror, and keeps coming back. Sans John Wick righteousness or Deadpool wisecracks. Sanders reaches for the mystical elements of the story, a dreamy, druggy love affair of the streets, this time carried out in a posh penthouse, but only truly throws himself at the pitiless executions. The sickening level of violence and the explicit ways it is depicted overwhelm the picture and can't help but remind a sentient viewer of the death of Bruce Lee's son in the original film, which became a cult movie thanks to its ethereal qualities and the ways the filmmaker Alex Proyas and the production worked around having a now dead star. The ugliest reminder of that might be its opening credits when we see this crow still has producer Edward R. Pressman behind it, the same fellow whose original films on set parsimony and carelessness got Brandon Lee killed. This revised story has a villain, Danny Houston, in league with the devil, and an Aryan blonde minion, Laura Byrne, who carries out his orders, and curiously ineffective guide to the afterlife, Sammy Wujila, who explains the rules about to Eric the Crow about how he survived death, kept alive by his love for his Shelley, British actor singer FKA Twigs of Honey Boy. Shelley is a party girl with talent who runs with a rough crowd. A friend, Sebastian Orozco, shoots a cell phone video that gets her bestie Zadi, Isabella Wee, killed. As the forces of darkness close in around her, Shelley only manages her escape by running into Detroit's finest and spilling her drug filled purse. That gets her arrested and sent to rehab. So this is a whole bunch. He really does a really long, long one.
Mhm.
But obviously, they have a lot of trouble with a lot of the violence.
I've heard that in other things that they said that the people were turned off by the violence, but the thing is, so you like the violence if John Wick does it, but not if the Crow does it. So
I guess because the level of violence, because remember, John Wick violence is shooting people and killing people in an efficient manner. This thing that he has killed multiple times in gruesome,
mhm.
gruesome manners. So I think that that's what the audience probably is, kind of shrinking away from. But we'll find out when it gets on cable, right, or streaming service. Correct?
Yeah.
I don't think any of us is going to see it in theater, but maybe I'm wrong. Somebody may want to see it in theater.
No, I'm not. I don't see how I'm going to find myself in the theater watching this.
All right, all right, all right, you all. But we talked and talked and went a bit far, and Now, it really is time for us to say goodbye to all our company. Thank you all so much for joining us. We'll be back again next week, same time, same place here in the Otherhood. Take care of yourself. Have a productive week. Good night.
Good night and happy Labor Day.